I just want to thank everybody for raising their hand and participating in Global Entrepreneurship Week.
All right, welcome back, everybody. We are back here at the Westside Community Incubator. My name is Elias, and I'm really excited to spotlight these two incredible entrepreneurs and community leaders here in our community spearheading the Veteran Tiny Home Project. We've got Monifa Caines and Edgar Rodriguez. Welcome.
Thank you for having us today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, so maybe you guys take turns here, but Monifa, you've done some really incredible work over the years. But why don't you start off by introducing yourself and what led you to this project and what this project is all about?
Hello, everyone. My name is Monifa Caines. I'm one of the project managers for the Veteran Tiny Home Project. I have a company called Bold Voice Company. I'm also a writer. And my other job is I'm a volunteer extraordinaire. So anytime I can volunteer in the community and make the community a better place, that's what I do. Now, I became part of this project because there is a law firm, it's called Bay Law Injury Attorneys, and they really want to spearhead helping veterans and also children. So one thing they do is sponsor a program called Shop Class, which helps high school students learn the trades, such as plumbing, flooring, siding, electrical work. And another thing he wanted to do is donate to veterans. So what he does is after the children, the high school students build the homes, he donates the tiny home to a deserving veteran. And that's where myself and Edgar Rodriguez come in to where we bridge the gap between the community and the veterans. So we can provide resources, find deserving veterans, and help them level up at the same time.
That's incredible work. And Edgar, I know you're part of Warrior Rising. I'd love to hear from you as well.
Yeah, so as of this year, I took over the Warrior Rising platoon here in Vegas. Also have my own business with Master the Network. And like Monifa said, I feel like we're professional volunteers when it comes to helping the community. I think our military mindset of service is is why we do what we do in the community. At the end of the day, we do want to make it a better place. And Warrior Rising has allowed me to touch a lot more entrepreneurs, right? So what Warrior Rising does is if you're a veteran, a military spouse, or a dependent of a veteran, then we help you start, scale, and grow your business. And they do that through online platforms. And whenever we do monthly get-togethers, that's where I bring, the community of the veteran side together, just to show them what our network looks like and plug them into the right resources that we have here in Las Vegas.
I love that. And, I can't be remiss to spotlight the fact that you're both veterans.
Yes.
And we thank you for your service, not only in the military, but also in this community. And one thing that I love about working with the brand of veterans that you, Monifa, Edgar, our friend Dave Berlin all represent is this core belief of service over self. And so thank you guys.
Yes.
You guys are pouring into other people's cups. Talk about why it's so important to solve the veteran homelessness issue. What is going on there for people who don't know?
So for those of you that don't know me, and for those of you that do, ending veteran homelessness and eradicating it is something that is a passion project of mine. So for me, it touches home, right? There's a story I have that at one point in time during COVID, I almost became homeless. And it opened up my eyes to, okay, how do I make sure this never happens? One, to a veteran, or two, to anybody in our community. And when I was in the industry of wealth management, it taught me a lot about money and how money works. And I jumped into that industry to learn and grow from what society doesn't teach us when it comes to money, so financial literacy. And once I took that knowledge and jumped into the next career, it helped me really, really level up in life, right? So for me, it's not about how do we solve it or how do we end it, is how do we unite the right nonprofits that want to make an impact?
Yeah.
Because we're not subject matter experts, but we know that there are organizations out there that are about impact. And because they want to make an impact, if we can unite them, then we can truly solve the bigger problem, right? And like you said, it is of the service mentality. It's not about me. It's not about the organization. It's about helping our brothers and sisters who fought for this country.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, Edgar. I think bringing that, adding to that and bringing it back to you, Monifa, it really sticks to that theme of Global Entrepreneurship Network this year, which is Together We Build, and it's cooperation over competition. How have you inspired the youth to join in this building movement?
Well, first of all, I want to say it starts with the youth. Not just to say they are the future, but just to inject in them that we are watching them and we are here to take them on a journey also as they grow and they learn. And a lot of them that we're working with right now, the high school students, they want to learn the trades. But what's even better is we talk to them about why they're building this tiny home. Who is it for? Who they're helping? So they're building it with a lot more love and attention to detail because they get to see who's going to receive the home and also hear their journey and how they ended up and made certain decisions and how these high school students are helping a veteran get back on track and grow. So there's a purpose behind the students and watching them grow and understand not just build this home, but why they're doing it, why it's going to be perfect, why somebody's going to love that they built this home. It's very important for the mindsets of these high school students to know they're building something that lasts and that will grow with the person that lives in it.
Absolutely. How many years do you think that home will be good for? I mean, it should be a lot of years, right?
Oh yeah, it's a beautiful home. It's up to code. It will be there forever. Yes,
That's
so
incredible.
it's well made, and the high school students that made it have a lot of mentors that come in, of course, and make sure everything is according to plan.
Edgar, what are some of the biggest lessons? Obviously, there was that moment that you had where you were feeling that emotion yourself, dealing with that reality yourself, got over it, found a path now, and this passion that you want to solve it for other people. I'm sure there was a lot of obstacles and roadblocks along the way that would have told you at any given point, forget it. You at least figured out your own self, like you don't need to do this whole thing. So what are some of the lessons that you learned that helped you overcome that?
Yeah, I would say the biggest lesson, in working on this project specifically, was how some of the organizations were receptive and how some were not. Not everybody wants to play nice in the sandbox, and that's okay. Because with the right organizations and the right community support, we were able to land this first plane, right? And now we have the motto of like, how can we do the next one? So biggest lessons is just knowing that with the right community partners, anything is possible.
Absolutely. Monifa, anything you'd like to add for lessons?
Yeah, absolutely. The community. It doesn't have to be a veteran organization, but a community that cares to uplift other people. We come together and we work together. We provide resources because of the community. The veterans that applied for the tiny home made certain decisions that did not work out. So it's not just giving a veteran a tiny home, it's making sure they have the resources to keep going, to level up, to continue to be better, like financial planning, going back to school, finding them a job, because they still have to pay for other things that come along with the house. But the community has raised their hands and said, hey, I can help with financial planning and teach someone how to plan their money. I can help and sit down with a veteran and see what benefits they're not receiving. So it takes a community impact so that person will never make those same mistakes again.
Definitely. I wonder if either of y'all had thought about this, so I'm going to throw a question at your way, okay? And that is, you continue doing this, you do this for another, 5 to 10 years minimum. You've impacted now a dozen folks. I imagine you are including them in the future homes and building a community. So, let's say we do a Freedom Week 10 years from now. What does that look like with this project being a lot more grown up?
Ooh, I'll take this one. So the vision of what I see with creating the organization Veterans Rise Again is not just doing it in our backyard, but if we take what we learn here in Vegas, we go to the next city that has a bad homeless population, let's just say San Antonio, for example, and we model and learn from both cities and then scale it to say, okay, let's handle the worst city in America that has veteran homelessness, and we solve that city. Now we can roll this out to 50 states, 100 cities in 10 years from today
Yeah.
and really make an impact. To me, what I see is the last 6 months before any veteran exits and the first 6 months after they exit, that 1 year is probably the most important year of that veteran's life. What are they going to do next? Life after service, one. Two, what you did in the military doesn't define who you are. So whatever job or role you had, right, MOS as we know it in the military,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that's what you have to do getting out of the military. You could do whatever you want. It's just depending on what you're most passionate about. And if we can build that path and future for them 10 years from today, we're not just ending veteran homelessness. Now we've literally figured out how to end veteran, like homelessness in general, and model it from there to make a bigger impact in our nation.
I love that vision. Do you want to add anything, Monifa?
Yeah, I'll just quickly add on that for community impact, we invite every veteran to look at what we're doing. And one thing that we realized with the first home that we're doing better for the next home is making sure every veteran can apply. So we're working with the Paralyzed Veterans of America to also make sure that if you're a veteran, you can apply. There's no reason because you are paralyzed that you can't apply for a home and you need it. So we also get feedback from our own community to make our projects better.
That's great. I'm thankful that you guys have that forward-looking perspective and also an open-mindedness to include a lot of people in the conversation. It unlocks a lot of perspectives you otherwise wouldn't have. But I want to go back real quick, Edgar, to the point where you talked about that critical year. And you're both veterans who've each had that critical year. So could you share a little bit of what helped you, what those wins in your year that you want to share with others?
Yeah, I'll say I got very lucky. I was going to be, I'm from California, and I was stationed in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. I had just gotten back from Ramadi, Iraq. And on my way back to California, I actually stopped here to vacation. Next year will be 20 years, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
But been here long enough to call Vegas my home, right?
Yeah.
And for me, I took a risk. I went to a job fair and ended up getting a really good job. It turned into an 11-year career. This doesn't happen for every veteran.
Yeah.
So I feel that 1 year that's important is what do they want to do next in life, and how do we build a bridge, like a real bridge to say, hey, this is the path forward to your next career. And if we can do that, not just here in Nevada, but nationwide, if you think about why veterans join the military, it's a number of reasons. For me, it was I needed to get out of a certain situation, right? I grew up in East LA, wasn't the best neighborhood, and going after I was exiting out of the military, where do you think I was going to go right back to? Right?
Oh, yeah, back to East
right?
LA.
So I would have been back in the same situation. So for me, Vegas was a blessing in disguise, because it's helped me create an amazing network in the business community and the veteran community. And it's helped pave the way for so many more veterans by sitting at so many roundtables over the years to unite our veteran community. Offline, Monifa touched on it earlier, right? When she moved from DC to Vegas, it was a lot of those roundtables that we sat at early on with our friend Dave Berlin that has strengthened our veteran community. And what's made it what it is today is us having to spearhead a lot of these roundtables to say, okay, ego aside, how do we impact veterans? And how do we make our ecosystem that much more stronger? Because other communities did it. Why can't we?
Yeah.
So that, going back to that critical year is helping pave the way for generations to come with our veterans that are exiting the military.
Thank you, Edgar. What about you, Monifa?
A year that really impacted me to where I'm doing what I'm doing now is in 2017, I had a kidney transplant at UMC. And when you're recovering, you have time to think. I had a lot of time to think about my life, my decisions, what I was doing, my priorities. And I realized I wasn't living the life I wanted to live, that I set out to live in my heart. So I wondered, can I start my own business? Can I find people that are like-minded, that want to see me win? And what am I going to do in the community? As I said a long time ago, that I would leave a footprint, a positive footprint that really helps people. So after that year of recovery, I started my own business. And I also started volunteering a lot more and finding that community, and I call it a tribe, where we can move together in different places but make impacts. So that was a critical but impactful year for me to think, how am I going to live on this earth but lead in my heart?
Yeah, thank you both. I think, the common thread here is community, connection, persistence, resilience, right? These are some common threads that I hear you both sharing. Looking ahead to 2026, what are some things that you're excited about in this new year?
Well, Monifa touched on it earlier. Is applications, I believe, are open now for the next tiny home that we're going to be giving away with Bay Law, right, in partnership with them. So if you go to baylaw.com/veterans, you can nominate a veteran and you can apply if you're in that you can qualify. Creating the criteria and landing the first plane, amazing. So what I'm excited about next is who we're going to impact next,
Yep.
and whose life are we going to help level up, right? It's not a hand out, it's a hand up. And what we mean by that is, by having the community partners that we do have, we're able to help this next veteran, and not just that veteran. What I love about this project is that we're not leaving veterans behind.
Yeah.
Everyone who applied has been contacted and is being let know, like, hey, here are some other resources that are available, whether it's in mental health, financial literacy, job placement, to get them in a better situation. So that, to me, it's like, how do we refine this process to keep making that impact is what I'm most excited about.
That's wonderful. And most definitely, I hope all the veterans you continue to impact, you let them know that this space is available to them, as a
yes.
co-working space.
Thank
And
you. Yes.
and as you get more tiny houses closer to, because, play space is a real thing. I get the one in Henderson is far, but maybe there will be a world where a few are in this neighborhood.
Yes.
Oh, I hope so. And let's bring that to fruition, seriously.
Yeah.
For 2026, we're going to grow the Veteran Tiny Home Project. We want to see, of course, more applications. And we've seen a good amount, but we want everybody to be aware. If you need help, it's not just about if you're a veteran that's homeless. You could be one paycheck away, three paychecks away, but need a home and need help and need safety so that you can continue to go to school, find a good job, and grow. So we definitely want the project to continue to grow, plus add more resources, like Edgar was saying. If you apply, it's hard to read an application, and you write that you're living in your car. We're not just going to put the application down. We're going to contact you and see how we can help you get out of that situation, regardless if you win the actual tiny home or not. And we want to continue to work with the community and with some new foundations.
I love that. Thank you both so much. I think we're at that part of the interview where we go into, final words of advice and how people can get in touch and get involved.
Yeah, I would say for me, the easiest way to find me is on LinkedIn, or if you go to masterthenetwork.com. All my contact info is on there. But those are the two ways to get a hold of me.
Great.
For me, you can contact me through email, monifa@boldvoicecompany.com. And for veterans that want to apply for the tiny home, baylaw.com/veterans.
I love that. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I just want to give my flowers to Monifa and to Edgar here, and to a lot of the entrepreneurs you're going to continue to see us spotlight that are also community leaders in their own right, because the story that is common amongst the entrepreneurs, the Promise Startups and the Global Entrepreneurship Network, is that these entrepreneurs don't wait to become billionaires or millionaires to give back. These entrepreneurs don't wait for some kind of special milestone to pop out and check on the peer next to them. These are entrepreneurs that, put service over self. They continue to show up. They're good stewards of their resources, as you could tell here. Edgar and Monifa are doing the best with what they can, and they are now about to put a formerly homeless veteran into housing, not just for a year, but hopefully for the rest of his life and their lives, his and her lives of the future veterans are going to impact. So Monifa and Edgar, thank you so much for being inspirations to this community, and we hope that we can continue to work with you to uplift more voices.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. All right, well, signing out. We'll see y'all next time.